there I was, bawling my eyes out. The problem wasn't just that I was crying, it's that I was crying in the worst place imaginable. That's right. I shed tears in a professional setting. Has that ever happened to you? It's embarrassing, right? Why does public crying feel so shameful? Because we've been taught that emotions are signs of weakness. But what if that's a lie? I'm here to share that our emotions are not weakness. They're a biological superpower designed to protect us and to connect us. But because we've been taught this lie that emotions are a weakness, we suppress them. And that comes at a great cost to all of us. Picture this, me, the first in my family to go to college, sitting in an Ivy League Ph.D. seminar. I'm trying to answer a question, but I can't get the words out. Frustrated, I feel my face grow hot and my eyes fill with tears. Panicking, I try to suppress them, but they come out and pour down my face. And no matter how hard I try to stop them, they just keep coming. Luckily, my professor doesn't comment on my tears. He asks me clarifying questions, helps me refine my ideas. By the end of class, I leave feeling a little embarrassed, but okay. Until a friend and fellow student pulls me aside and says, "Susie, you can't do that. You need to control your emotions." In retrospect, I understand why she said that. She was trying to protect me from a society that shames emotions. But what I heard was this: "Susie, if you can't control yourself, you're weak and you don't belong here." I found plenty of evidence in academia that emotions were not allowed. Everyone else looked like they had it all together. So for the next 12 years, I did what I saw everyone else doing. Never sharing what I felt, only what I thought. On the outside, I looked like a success. PhD, postdoc, tenure-track job. Inside, I was anxious and terrified of being found out. The result? I burned out and I quit academia. Have you ever had to quit something you cared about because it was burning you out? If so, you might relate to what came next. A lot of shame. I felt like a failure. Then, in 2021, after being diagnosed with early childhood trauma, I discovered the truth. I didn't burn out because I was weak. I burned out because I had suppressed my emotions. And that had a huge biological cost. Let me explain. When we feel threatened, we generate stress hormones like cortisol. I know, you all know what cortisol is, it gets a bad rap. But it's actually critically important to our survival because it's what puts us into fight, flight, freeze so we can escape the threat. So the problem isn't that we have cortisol. It's that we don't release it once the threat is over. So it accumulates and then we stay stressed out. Would you like to know how we mammals are designed to release stress and cortisol? Yes. Yeah, raise your hand. Let me know. Do you want to know the secret? All right, I'm going to tell you right now. The way we release stress and cortisol is by connecting to our pack and sharing our emotions. Let me repeat that. The way we're designed to release stress and cortisol is by connecting to our pack and releasing our emotions. Wait a minute, isn't that what we've been told not to do, never share your emotions? I mean, no wonder we're stressed out. As for crying, did you know that our tears contain cortisol? We literally cry out stress. There's more. When we cry, we generate oxytocin. Some of you might know that as the connection and safety hormone, but you might not know this other tidbit. Oxytocin is a cortisol buster. Remember that old Dawn dish soap commercial? Dawn gets grease out of your way? I like to think of it like this. Oxytocin gets cortisol out of your way. I'm telling you, if pharmaceutical companies could bottle the effects of crying, they'd make billions of dollars. But they can't, because a pill cannot replicate the biological power of shared emotions with our pack. Looking back, I now understand what happened to me in that seminar. All that cortisol had accumulated from early trauma, from being a first-generation college student, hit a tipping point in a highly stressful academic environment, and it needed out. But because my pack saw my emotions as weakness, I suppressed them, and I shamed my biology for decades. It's not just me. We are all facing the costs of the lie that emotions are a weakness. Anxiety, burnout, depression, heart disease. They're all caused by suppressing the thing we're designed to express. That's why we need to stop shaming emotions and start witnessing them. How do we do that? Let's turn to our mammalian friends for the answer. When a vulnerable animal comes to its pack, the pack licks it. Think of Bambi, That helps the animal drop cortisol so it feels safe again. So the next time you see somebody looking vulnerable or crying, lick them. I'm just kidding. Here's the more socially acceptable version of witnessing emotions, one you could even do at work. It takes 2 sentences. Sentence 1, it makes sense you feel that way. Sentence 2, how can I support you? That's it. Normally, we try to give advice, solve the problem, but that's not witnessing. That's fixing. And fixing leaves us feeling unseen and unheard. Witnessing isn't just great for us feeling better. Witnessing actually helps us think better. When cortisol drops, our prefrontal cortex comes back online, and we suddenly see new possibilities for the challenges that face us. That's why psychological safety is key for high-performing teams. Google said so you got to believe it. So if you want to have some high-performing teams, I invite you to stop shaming emotions and start witnessing them. Imagine if my friend had said to me, Susie, it makes sense you felt frustrated in that class. How can I support you? I would have felt seen instead of shamed. And imagine if I'd been surrounded by academics who didn't just share what they thought, but what they felt. Now imagine all of us living and working in spaces where it's safe for us to be vulnerable. We can make that happen. As Rudyard Kipling wrote, the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. When we choose to witness instead of shame, we empower not just the individual, but the entire pack. The beautiful part, witnessing spreads. When we feel seen, our nervous system regulates, and then we become capable of witnessing others. One person at a time, we go from isolation to connection. The question isn't whether we'll feel emotions. Of course we will. The question is, when emotions rise, will we shame them or will we witness them? The next time it happens, just remember there's nothing to fix. All there is to say is it makes sense you feel that way. How can I support you? Because when we feel seen instead of solved, trust is built, connection deepens, and communities transform. Thank you.